The state has filed an information in this case. Counsel, have you received a copy of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you waive reading?
We waive reading, waive reading and enter a plea of not guilty as to count 1 and not guilty as to count 2. Also reserving for the ultimately assigned attorney any issues relating to a bill of particulars as Mr. Trejo mentioned. Also, for your purposes, Your Honor, I can verify that the address that was given to the prosecution by Mr. Trejo is correct. As an officer of the court, I can make the representation that I've been there and both young men were present and appeared to be resident at that address.
All right, then as to the arraignment, this court is entering not guilty pleas to each of the 2 charges. I'll set trial and pre-trial hearings in a moment, but first I'll hear from the state as to suggested conditions of release.
Your Honor, the state is going to request the same conditions, a PR release to reside at the address that has been provided and will be placed on the 3-2 order, that the defendant not leave the state of Washington, appear in court within 3 days' notice, do not possess any weapons or firearms, maintain weekly contact with his attorney, not violate the criminal laws of the state of Washington or any other state, and not to possess or consume any alcohol. I would ask that the court also order that he have no contact with Officer Ryan Donald of the Olympia Police Department except in an official capacity, no contact with Tammy L. Brown in the Safeway store, be placed on pretrial supervision with random urinalysis monitoring, and also submit to the administrative booking and fingerprinting process.
Counsel, your arguments?
Your Honor, I didn't hear a request for a curfew, so as long as I didn't hear that correctly, we have no objection to conditions.
I think the state was exercising their discretion based upon my ruling a moment ago with the co-defendant, and I appreciate that. All right, I will impose the same conditions that I previously imposed on Mr. Chaplin. The standard conditions is that Mr. Thompson not leave the state of Washington, be available on 3 days' notice, have weekly contact with his attorney once that attorney is assigned, have no violations of the criminal law, not possess any weapon or firearm, not have any contact with Officer Donald except if Officer Donald is exercising his official duties, have no contact with Tammy Brown, and no contact with the West Side Safeway. That he be under pretrial services, report to them today, and then follow their directions as to future reporting, not possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this matter, and be eligible for random urinalysis or a breath test to confirm that, as pretrial services might require. And finally, I'm directing that he contact the jail, arrange a time to be fingerprinted and photographed, and then he's released on his personal recognizance following that. He is to reside at the stated address, not change that address without notifying the court ahead of time. Okay. I assume that you're going to be asking for the same dates then.
That would be the state's request, Your Honor.